Well, it's full time. Liverpool 3, Aston Villa 3. In the game of football that went ahead to be really exhibited at the Villa Park, Liverpool took the lead and went ahead and obviously bottled it. That's why I've told you Liverpool bottled their lead, because you can't tell me you are at the level of Liverpool and you come out and really bottle a lead like that. You know, a 2-goal lead, you know, that's the same way he almost lost it when he was playing against Tottenham Hotspur. If I told you to go back and really read deep into that game of football they last played when they're playing against Tottenham Hotspur, they are leading by 4-0, but Spurs pulled to back, and in the dying minutes of the game, it looked like Spurs could obviously level up and really cause havoc to the side of Liverpool. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. And here we come to obviously bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. So it's really nice to obviously being here, and Liverpool have gone ahead to obviously find themselves drawing away from home, and it was Emiliano Martinez with an own goal in the second minute of the game. Then 10 minutes later, Yuri Tielemans went ahead obviously level it to make it 1-1. Cody Gakpo 11 minutes later in the 23rd minute, he put Liverpool ahead, and no sooner had they returned in the second half, 3 minutes into the second half, Amorin Quanch went ahead and obviously make it 3-1. And guess what? Liverpool led for the next 37 minutes, and it was like a comfortable lead. The manager went ahead to obviously make substitutions. He took off Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Elliott, Endo Wateru, and guess what happened? He brought on Dominic Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, Ryan Gravenberch, Darwin Núñez, and guess what happened? Duran went ahead to score 2 goals in the 85th minute and in the 88th minute. He was like, we are even going to win it. And Aston Villa was like, maybe we at home and we could win it. So that's what shows you how ugly Liverpool was. I know people are going to put out an argument that, why did he make those substitutions? I tell you, if you ask someone why he went ahead to make those substitutions, then you don't know the levels at which Darwin Núñez is at, Curtis Jones, Gravenberch, and who else came on? All those players he brought on, Szoboszlai, were really good players. But I think the problem arose when Liverpool failed to obviously understand what they're supposed to be doing, because you are at Aston Villa, you are leading by 3-1. Why do you have to open up like that? Because Liverpool opened up, you know? Why did you go in for the third and fourth? You know, for the fourth and fifth, you have one of the best defenders in the world, that is Virgil van Dijk. Wataru Endo defends that, all shields that back very well. And when you brought on Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, obviously the midfield was obviously doing fine. Why do you have to commit numbers? I think it was all about game management. For me, it's not the substitutions, it's the orders of the manager, because it was like, let's go and really annihilate this side of Villa. That was the plan of Klopp. And I think you got it wrong. You are no longer into the title race, because Arsenal, even if they win their remaining 2 games as Liverpool, all they can do, if they won this game and the next one, they would have gone ahead to be having 84 points. That means even if you win your game of football, there is no way you're going to find yourself in a situation of beating Arsenal and Man City onto the goal difference. Then what was the aim of them opening up like that? I think the hugest red flag is on how they've went ahead to obviously manage the game of football. They never manage it very well as the side of Liverpool, and this is where I went ahead obviously coming through and really question what the manager was really all about. You ask yourself, Klopp, what are you dying for? You get? But this game of football came in at a time when the side of Aston Villa is very, 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 very hard to say to it that they qualify for the Champions League, and they haven't gone ahead. The only thing that would have gone ahead to take them into the bracket to qualify for the Champions League would have gone ahead to be what we call a win. If they won today, they would have gone ahead to go to 70 points, and that would have gone ahead, obviously, put them off the pressure of Tottenham Hotspur. And I'm going to show you on the table on what this really means, because Arsenal fans, today or tomorrow, when Spurs is hosting Man City, you have all the reason to obviously be very anticipative, because Spurs have something to fight for. Spurs have something to fight for again in this encounter. Now, let's go to the stats. 19 shots by Aston Villa, Liverpool had 14. 5 shots on target by Aston Villa, Liverpool had 7. 41% ball possession by Aston Villa, Liverpool had 59%. 383 passes completed by Aston Villa. Then Liverpool completed 563. 84% passing accuracy by Aston Villa. 88% passing accuracy by Liverpool. 11 fouls by Villa. Then Liverpool had 15. 1 yellow card issued to Aston Villa and 1 yellow card issued to Liverpool. 0 red cards issued, though there are lots of calls coming in through from the side of Aston Villa that a person like, I think, Luis Diaz twice put himself in a very challenging situation. And today, I've gone ahead to love how VAR has gone ahead to officiate this game of football, because at the beginning of the season, and that season that saw VAR coming through in the league, you would have gone ahead to see close to 2-3 players sent off today. But I think they've gone ahead to understand that you don't really freeze that frame. Every time you slow motion that frame, you know what happens. You know, it looks like it's something horrible. And referees are really adopting to what we call the championships, the Champions League style of officiation. And if at all you really watch the games of the Champions League, penalties given into the Premier League are not given in the Champions League. And red cards issued there are not issued. So it shows you how good the Champions League is. And I'm really excited on how the Premier League is really adopting to this. I'm really excited. I'm really excited on how they're really adopting to this, because it was really very heavy for me to come out and obviously address certain things in here, that when you look at certain red cards being given the Premier League, they're really very stupid. I remember last season when Casemiro got close to 3 red cards, you know, stupid red cards that are not supposed to be even issued. You get mere elbowing someone, it resulted into what we call a red card. But in the pre-Champions League, we saw to it that Harry Kane went ahead to elbow Gabriel Magalhaes, and he was only given a yellow card. So it shows you that games are supposed to be managed on a different level. You remember that game of Arsenal of Bayern Munich? Bayern would have gone ahead to get themselves a penalty, you know, and the referee said no. Even when Saka was brought down, the referee said no. Those are the levels we are talking about, and I think the officiation next season is going to be really looking more and more and more better. Offsides, 2 to Aston Villa and 6 to Liverpool, 5 corners to Liverpool and 4 to the side of 5 corners to the side of Aston Villa and 4 to the side of Liverpool. So that's how everything really panned out at the stadium of the Villa Park. Now, we are having some stats that you really need to feed on to know exactly how things panned out at that stadium, because a lot of records were really set down there. And let's see how these records really got set into the mix. The first one was, tonight was just the second time Liverpool have failed to win a Premier League game, having led by 2 goals plus as late as the 84th minute, also drawing 3-3 with Southampton in August 2000. While this was the latest, you know, Aston Villa have ever trailed. This is the latest Aston Villa has ever trailed by 2+ goals in the Premier League, a game in which they've managed to avoid defeat. So those are records that have gone ahead to be said into this game. Then we are having Ole Watkins has provided 13 Premier League assists this season, more than any other player. Indeed, Only Ashley Young, 14 in 2007. 2008 has provided more assists for Villa in a single season campaign. Meaning that Ollie Watkins, when Villa is really closing up their season on Sunday, if he happens to really put in one, he would have gone ahead to level Ashley Young on the number of assists in a single season at Villa. Then, if he happens to put in two, he might find himself breaking the record and setting it straight in there for you. And I love the player in Ollie Watkins because he puts in goals and puts in assists. Then Harvey Elliott assisting Kwanshi is the first two players age 21 or younger have combined for a Premier League goal for Liverpool since Steven Gerrard assisted Michael Owen against Blackburn in November 2001. So you hear those stats, they're really very, very, very good, and hope they obviously sink down well into your mind. Kahendo Oliver, thank you for watching through. Good morning, my mate. Obviously keeping it in here onto this channel. I'm gonna come out and obviously reply to what you've gone ahead to put into the chat. That is Liverpool for you. But Duran has gone ahead obviously coming through and really put in a shift, and we have to obviously talk about him a little bit. Duran, you know, he has been at Aston Villa. You understand? He's a Colombian international, and his stats are not really, really lying off. He's just 20 years of age, and they've just gone ahead to bring him in. And in the season of 2022-2023, 12 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. 2023-2024, 22 games, 5 goals, 0 assists. I love the player. If you're really having that fire in you, if you're really having that fire in you at the age of 20, I tell you what, when you come in here and put in such performances, everyone will put respect to your name. You know, he reminds me about that summer transfer window, you know, that saw him come to the side of Aston Villa. That was in 2022, and I think they signed him, I think it was in January. Villa got him, but this man was linked to very many teams. I saw him being linked to Man United, Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur, like 5 Premier League teams were in for this guy. He was playing for Colombia. He was playing, for Chicago in the US. And in his debut season, 27 games, 8 goals and 3 assists. But one thing that he's loved about is his physical presence and him being clinical, you know. And I think next season is going to come in so early for him to really prove to the people that he can compete with Ollie Watkins, because Ollie Watkins looks like he's untouchable at the side of Aston Villa. But this lad, he's really a man of his own caliber. When you go to Salah, we are talking about players that have gone ahead obviously put in goals today. Today, Mohamed Salah has found himself hitting his 18th goal in the Premier League and 10 assists, meaning that he's just 2 goals away from hitting that number. And it shows you that he's performing below average and he's really shrinking. This is why I tell people that it's high time Liverpool thought of really selling Mohamed Salah. Though it sounds weird to some people, but I think it's high time Liverpool really thought of really letting this guy go, because you can't keep a player who is really shrinking. 31 years of age, money can come in from Saudi Arabia, and it's up to you to obviously take him on. So we wait and see how that pans out, but we are here to see how everything is really gonna come in through and put in a very huge shift. Now, this result has gone ahead to keep or to skip Tottenham Hotspur into the permutations to qualify for the Champions League and finish 4th, because when you look at the table, Arsenal having 86 points in 37 games, Man City 85 in 36 games, Liverpool 79 in 37 games, and Aston Villa is at 68, 5 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. And remember, Spurs are having a game in hand. If Spurs happen to beat Man City tomorrow, they'll go to 66 points, and all they have to do is wait for the result on the final day, because Villa is going to be having a lot of pressure onto themselves, and that's what has gone ahead to excite Arsenal fans over there, because all what Arsenal fans need is Spurs to go into that game of football when the permutations are clear. If Villa won today, would have gone ahead to go to 70 points. And even if Spurs won their 2 remaining games and Villa lost their last game, I tell you what, they wouldn't find themselves in a position of really qualifying for the Champions League. So they would have gone ahead to go in the game of Man City when they're really having nothing to fight for. But that draw that has gone ahead to obviously see Villa drop 2 points leaves Tottenham Hotspur into a vicinity of qualifying for the Champions League. And they have to keep their chances alive. They are going to that game of football against Man City with at least hope that they need to win that game. And it's good for them to come in through when they're really gonna come in through to win that game of football. And we wait to see how Man City is really gonna overcome them. And I know Arsenal fans are gonna be really in support of Tottenham Hotspur. And guys, when you live for long, you really see things that you wouldn't expect to happen. You know, you've gonna hate to hear the likes of Kai Havertz coming out in broad daylight on an interview, post-match interview, after Arsenal beat Man United, giving their support to Tottenham Hotspur. There is an Arsenal legend who said that if at all they happen to really put in a shift and they draw, or they make City draw points today, he's gonna have a tattoo of Spurs on his body, you know. And could this end the rivalry between Arsenal and Spurs? That is the North London derby. Because if Spurs gift Arsenal a trophy by making City draw points, that would be, I think, the end. Because Arsenal will be like, Spurs really did it, you know. And you might find out that people think that Spurs are really gonna come out and really down tools. Something I don't even really think of, because Spurs cannot down tools. Let me tell you why. Spurs are a money-making team. You qualify to the Champions League, you have 50 million pounds into your pocket already before even you kick a ball, you know. Then this other money comes in through according to the wins you've gonna hit to register. Each and every step you go onto or stage, it gives you the best that you deserve. So, as you know a lot, the side of Spurs, it needs money. And I tell you what, the CEO of Spurs will be like, please, my players, do me the needful, because I know Aston Villa is really having a very tight fixture. Guess what? Aston Villa playing out Crystal Palace, you know, on the 19th, and that's gonna be a hard game. So if you are Spurs, you win your remaining 2 games, you are into that. But the biggest block is a side of Man City. Why is it the biggest block for them? Sheffield is the team that Tottenham Hotspur is really ending the season with. So I just can't wait for the game tomorrow, and we are gonna be here to really look at everything and a little bit of a snippet of what that game of football is like for the side of Spurs. And I want to give Arsenal fans some hope in there for you. And when you look at the list of the players of Spurs that might really be out, I think Spurs are really having Richarlison is out, Timo Werner is out, Ben Davies is out, Mana Solomon is out, Ryan Sessegnon is out, Fraser Foster is out, Odogi is out, and Yefis Bissouma is really out. And how is Spurs expected to line up? Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Emerson, Sa, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Maddison, Johnson, and Song Heung-min. That is how. For Man City, it's only Nathan Ake who is doubtful, because he walked off the field of play when they are playing against Fulham, you know, and he did the needful, and he was out. Kyle Walker came in through and put in the shift. How is Man City expected to obviously line up tomorrow? They're having Ederson, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Diaz, Vadio, Silva, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Doku, Haaland, and Phil Foden. So that's how we expect these teams obviously coming through. They come in here when Spurs is obviously having very many injuries, but we all know that football is football. A lot can happen even when a team is really having limited injuries, or more injuries than you. It can go either way. So Arsenal fans have gone ahead to pray today, and their prayers gone ahead to work that nothing goes in the favor of Aston Villa. You get? And Liverpool would have gone ahead to make it more interesting if at all they beat them. Because if they beat them, even if they won their last game, they're going to be on to... because they're now having 68, right? They would have gone ahead to be having 67 points, right? And if at all Spurs won, they would have gone to be 66, 1 point behind them. But all in all, the permutations are still really giving this tie a very good go. They win 2 points behind Villa. Villa is playing Crystal Palace. And by the way, let's look at the goal difference of these teams and see who is really having a better goal difference. Spurs is having a goal difference of 12. Villa is having a goal difference of 20. So they just have to keep themselves believing that it can happen and all can go the either way. They can really push for the Champions League, because the Champions League is the most important bit of this all. So let me go into the comment section. I'm having Kahendo Oliver. Already, good morning. I saw a video when saying that the chances highly Arsenal to sign Bruno Guimaraes. What if Arsenal go for Zubomendi or for Fana? Hence, these ones are cheap than Guimaraes. One thing you have to understand is that Arsenal have moved from that level of going in for unproven players. The level at which Arsenal has gone to is to get in players that are really proven. That's where Arsenal has gone to, and you have to accept it. You know, however much Zubomendi is a good player, but I tell you, he might come in the Premier League and not hit the ground running yet. Arsenal need the players who are really going to hit the ground and run it. For example, Rice, Raya, and Kai Havertz went ahead to obviously hit the ground running at Arsenal in their first season, because they are really not Premier League novices. They are known to the Premier League and they know exactly what it means to be playing in the Premier League. But if you go in for players that are really coming outside the side of England, they might come in through and really need some time. Look at Rodri. Rodri at Man City never hit the ground running. You know, he needed some time to settle in. But Mikel Arteta, if he misses out on the trophy, even if he wins it this summer, he needs to obviously get in players that are really Premier League well conversant of. That's why he's looking in for Douglas Luiz and the guy called Bruno Guimaraes. And I understand Zubomendi is a very good player, but he will be a work in progress. You know, he will come in through and obviously try to learn. But what Arsenal are trying to do is they are trying to win trophies. If you're winning trophies, you have to go in for those players that are really good at business. Do you know why Arsenal wanted to go in and bring in Joshua Kimmich? Joshua Kimmich, at 28 years of age, he's experienced. He knows exactly what to do, and the manager believes that he can come into that Arsenal side and really put in a very wonderful shift. So I know why Arsenal is going for Bruno Guimaraes and why they can break the bank to get that player in. You know, I know why, and it's really the right thing for Arsenal to do, because if they don't do it, then they'll miss out onto loads and lots of things. So back your manager and give him the benefit of doubt. For Fana, I know him very well. I think he plays for Monaco in France, but he's also a work in progress. You get? That's why Arsenal never went in for players that aren't finished articles. The only player they went in for was Julian Timber, but you saw to it that he was well scouted. He comes into that side of Arsenal in the preseason. He looked like a player who had been playing for Arsenal for a very long period of time ever. So the only way I'll side with you to obviously get those players in at Arsenal is if at all the board of Arsenal scouts them very well and really admit that they are the missing piece in the jigsaw of Arsenal to obviously complete the juggernaut. You understand? But I tell you, they are good players. They are good players, but there'll be question marks on whether they settle in or not. And Arsenal really has a budget. If a team like Man United has a budget of £100 million to spend minus sales, and they got out of the Champions League early enough, they never played in the round of 16, they never played in the quarterfinals, they never won as many number of games like Arsenal went ahead to win. I tell you, Arsenal has like now £160 million minus sales. The list of players that Arsenal is going to sell is really huge. They can get like £30 million from Partey. They can get 30 from Wes Nelson, 30 from Edin Nketiah. They can get 40 from Emily Smith-Rowe. And Arsenal can make sales and really get in like £120 million. You understand? Because all I know is that Fabio Vieira is one of those players that they might be looking at to also move on. So I think Arsenal can have money to spend on these players. You get? Especially Douglas Luiz and Bruno Guimaraes. Then Mr. Aradi, I'm hoping Man City drop points tomorrow. Yeah. It's going to be a very heated up fixture for Man City. And we'll be here telling you what exactly is going to happen in that ilk. Then Usman, Liverpool, Aston Villa result is the best for us because Tottenham knew they have to win their 2 games to qualify for the Champions League. Yeah. Tottenham Hotspur are going to come up and really put their bodies on the line because Arsenal winning the league is something that won't affect Spurs. If at all Spurs goes to the Champions League, they'll be like, you've won the trophy, you've won it on our mercy because we have to beat Man City for you to qualify, to go into those levels, and we're into the Champions League too. You get? So, the best thing is for Spurs to obviously rise up to the occasion. The previous 4 games, Spurs have gone ahead to lose out badly, and they conceded very many goals. 4 against Newcastle, 3 against Arsenal, those are 7, 4 against Liverpool, those are 11, and I think they went ahead to obviously lose over the weekend as the side of Spurs. So it shows you how bad they're really looking. You understand? Chelsea beat them in the midweek 2-0. So they're really looking bad, and it's a side that you cannot come out and really trust it with what your hope is in as far as really clinching or stopping the side of Man City is concerned. But in football, you never say never. I've always told you there are 3 results: a win, which is a W, a loss, which is an L, and a D, which is a draw. And all what Arsenal need is for Man City not to walk away with 3 points at the stadium of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Even if it's a draw, better. You understand? Let's wait and see how that pans out. I'm having Cheston Ashley. How much percentage do Arsenal have to win the league? I think Arsenal's percentage is very little because it's not in their hands. Unless otherwise, City drops points at Tottenham today. But if they don't, it's really going to be hard for the side of City to fail to beat West Ham. Though, West Ham will put up a challenge and make it hard for them, and City will be having a lot of pressure onto themselves. But if City surpass the pressure, I tell you, of Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal's chances will be at 10%. You get? But if at all they draw, all Spurs beat City, Arsenal's chances will be at 90%. You get? So, that is it coming in through from the side of your questions, and I think I've gone ahead obviously coming through and really responded to them very, very well. Now, there is the man, McGinn, the captain of Villa, has come out and said, Big John Duran is a bit nuts and is a nightmare to have in your team, but he's got quality. We need to keep his feet on the ground over the next couple of days. There are some of us that have been close to the Champions League and alive. The manager has no excuse mentality. People have written us off, and we've floated under the radar. We will have our Man City tops on tomorrow. So, obviously he's saying that Aston Villa is going to be supporting Man City. Because if Man City beat Tottenham Hotspur, then it's over. Even if they draw, I think it will be over, right? It will be over. Will it be over? Spurs will be at 67. Sorry, 64. Yeah, it will be over. Because even if Aston Villa loses, the gap will obviously be unreachable. They won't be able to obviously close in the gap. So, I think for me, I'm going to give Duran my man of the match. You know, coming off the bench and really putting in 2 chances and being clinical. Duran is the guy. And thank you guys for watching through. Thank you for everyone who's been part of this video. Kahendo Oliver, Uthman, then Cheston, Ashley. You guys are really great. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Rock and David remains my name. Amen.